the last request I've had is a sort of a yin yang style, a bit more reflective. So we shall go gently, we'll go slowly, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Bit of yin, bit of yang. It's only half hour, so I will be moving through the yin poses rather than holding them for too long. But we'll start either kneeling or sitting if it's more comfortable for you. You can place your right hand to your chest, your left hand to your belly. And we're just going to start with a few deep breaths. So as you breathe in, your chest will rise, and then your tummy will move slightly forward. And then your tummy is going to soften away, and then the ribs fall away. So if you think of 2 counts, chest expanding, 2 counts, tummy moving forwards, 2 counts, tummy softening, and 2 counts, ribs falling. We're going to do just that one more, inhaling, ribs expanding, tummy moving forward into the hand, exhaling, tummy falling, chest softening, taking a nice deep breath there, inhaling, and the exhale, releasing. This time we're going to take ourselves up onto our knees, so inhale all the way up, reaching nice and tall. Exhale, settling back, either onto your heels. I'll show you a different version in a moment, but some of us are going to stick with this version, opening up the front of the body nicely. And exhaling, releasing. If you happen to be easy cross legs, stay inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, hands go back. You can stay seated and just open up the front of that chest. And a little curl forward. So that's a gentler option if it's difficult to kneel. We're going to do 3. I'm going side on so you can see a bit more. Inhale, reaching up, so buttocks firm. Open up into the ceiling. Exhale, releasing down. Fingertips behind. Push the hips through. Open that up. Stay seated if this is all too much on those knees. Exhaling. And curl, rounding forward, easing, rounding those shoulders. Inhale, up we come, reach up nice and tall. Some of you will open that up a bit more. Exhale, down we go. Hands go back, push the hips through, shoulders draw back, open that up nicely. Exhaling, settling back. One more time, curling forward, and on your next breath in, lifting back up, open it up. Maybe drifting back, but keep those buttocks very firm. Exhale, settling back. Hands go back, push the hips forward or stay seated, easy across the legs if that's too much. Exhale, releasing and curling, rounding, shoulders fall, neck is soft, forehead resting. If it's difficult, 2 little hands there and rest the forehead onto your hands. So just soft neck, soft shoulders. From here we're going to come up onto the hands and knees. So from there we're going to take a cat stretch, open everything up again. Exhale, we shall scoop up that back. So we're moving our spines with all of these. Inhale, arching again. Open that up. Exhale, and a lovely scoop of that back, rounding. We just have one more. Inhale, arching, opening up. Exhale, releasing. We're going to walk those hands a little further out and fall forward into your puppy pose. So you're thinking of your armpits moving down towards your mat, the head or forehead. If you'd like to use I didn't bring blocks there, books. I've got a block. So you can take a block or a book and rest the forehead. Others you won't. You'll have that forehead resting down. So your armpits are opening up. You've got that lovely space through the chest, the rib cage, the front ribs expanding. Stay for 2 more breaths. Spread out those fingertips into your floor so you're not hunched with those hands. They're nice and spread apart. Little tummy is slightly pulled in here. And then on your next breath we shall curl up and just ripple your way forward. Down we come onto your forearms. Now you can stay on your forearms and rest in your Sphinx pose. Some of you are going to bend your right leg, reach around, and just draw that heel in for a moment, finding the length through the thigh. You can stay or you can press the foot away and open that up that wee bit more and hold. Now if that's feeling a little too much, just stay with your Sphinx pose. So breathing, holding, Sphinx pose being a yin pose. Some of you are up here. For those who do have the one leg, it's raining. Oh, I'm so happy. My plants are going to be so happy. So just other side, reaching around. It's actually 2 weeks today from the lockdown, Wednesday. So from there you can push up either to the forearm or all the way up. And again, just feel that space, that chest is open. If it feels too much, don't forget to leave those legs out of this and just leave your arms in your Sphinx pose or possibly seal pose. So any version, a comfortable version. With this practice, we're not going for intense, we're going for a much more relaxed feel. So as you release, we're coming back to our floor. We're going to take those hands underneath us, push through those arms, and we shall settle back to a child pose, extending, and it's a really lovely feeling to sort of lengthen that spine after arching that back. So from here we're going to slowly inhale all the way up, lifting up nice and tall. Take those arms with us, reaching for the center, for the ceiling. Exhaling those hands back into your chest. We're coming up onto those knees. We're going to step the right foot forward. So forward goes our right leg, lunging. So we're lengthening through the thigh, through those hip flexors, or the psoas is going to get a stretch as well. As you inhale, arms reaching up nice and high. If this is too much, just stay and hold. You might even go to the floor. For those who've got the arms up, exhale, arms go back. Extend them away, fingertips reaching away as well. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, we're coming back up. Open up that chest. Think of your fingertips reaching down towards the crease of that knee as you lift the chest. Make sure you're not poking that backside to try and get there. Try and get that backside to fold forward and underneath you. Inhale, we're coming all the way back up. And exhale, we're taking a twist. So opposite arm, take the arm back around. Keep the buttocks firm. We're flowing down here so the arm goes back and your right arm goes up in the air. So you're sort of reaching up, sorry, left arm. So again, from here, right leg forward, left arm is up, opening that up, opening up and back. And releasing, taking those hands to your floor, stretching out your back leg. That might be plenty. Some people might want to use little blocks to keep the hands a bit higher, or of course your books. We're going to slowly have a go at stretching out through your front leg. So easing on your breath out, fold down to those thighs. If you need to, you've got your blocks or your book to have a little bit more height. The other option is to bend your front leg. So find some extension through the back of that leg. We're coming down and we shall move back to your child pose. Extend. Find that nice breath, the length through the back. Inhale, curling back up. Take those arms with you. Take a nice breath at the top end. Exhaling those hands to your chest, thumbs to the breastbone, and we'll step our left leg forward this time. So we're lunging, again making sure that you're not poking the backside out, it's going with you. Arms extending if you can, so you're lengthening. It's as if I've got my hand in here pushing those hips forward. As you exhale, we're folding, lengthening, reaching those arms back to clasp a hold. And on the breath in, you open that back up. Fingertips reaching to the crease of that back knee. Shoulders drawing back. If you can, you're looking upwards. Inhale, take those arms all the way back up. And we're going to take that lovely twist, so left arm, the right arm forward, left arm back, broadening across those shoulders, keeping those hips forward. We're dropping our back arm onto our back leg, and this time the right arm reaching up. So left leg forward, right arm is up, and drifting back, open up the front of that body again. So all the way through that chain, running through the front of that right side, exhaling. We're coming all the way back down to the floor. And again, we're going to slowly stretch out that back leg. You can stay. You can use that little block, or if you've got two or a couple of books. If you can, we're stretching out through our front leg a little or a lot on your breath out. Fold over your leg, keeping the hips square. Traditionally, a yin practice is done when the muscles are quite cold. We're warming them up at the moment. But usually you do yin because you're in the pose for a very long time. And you're trying to sort of release into the joints rather than stretching muscle. So joints are a little slower to release, so they don't sort of spring back as muscle do. So usually we're just sort of settling into a pose for quite some time and just really letting the joints open up and release. So we're hanging in our forward bend. You can fold your arms, let that head hang. But we are doing a bit of that yang style. We're warming the body, we're warming the muscles, because we're not going to be staying quite such a long time in your yin poses. So just be very careful not to try and push, force and go too far, too deep. Just take your time. Always a good gauge is to exhale into the posture, into the pose. And then you'll know you've not gone too far. Exhale, you back away, and then from here, ragdoll pose, you can just drift over one way a little, drift back and over to the other side. You can do all this with bent knees if you prefer. Otherwise, just a little sway through the back body, feeling the backs of these legs again. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees, push through those feet, roll up. So we're going to inhale all the way up nice and tall, exhaling and bringing those hands to your chest. You can leave your feet hip distance, or you can step your feet together if that's more comfortable for you. We're going to take a breath in, reaching tall, holding onto your right wrist. Pull up the thighs, make sure your backside is really tucking under, and take a lovely sort of banana sana pose. It's the shape of a banana. Sometimes we do this lying on the floor. We happen to be standing today. Inhale all the way through to the center. Other arm, so reach it up. Exhale and extending. So I think this was the last of the requests that I received for a variation in classes. I think there's about 10 that you can choose from. So there's some energetic versions and some gentle options for you to move into. Inhaling back up. Every day is a little different. Take those arms back down. We're going to interlace them. So from here, we're going to keep the buttocks tucked in, draw the tummy quite firm, lift up, engage your thighs here, and lift the chest. You can keep the head forward if it's not comfortable to be looking up, but otherwise those hands go for the floor. The chest is in the air. Shoulders pull right back. On the next breath in, we shall come back up, bend those knees, curl. If you need to, leave the hands resting on your back. If you can, those arms extend into the ceiling. Let that head hang. Inhale back up through your center. And take a twist. Your left arm is going to come across your right thigh. Make sure it's the upper arm, or leave one hand on your thigh, other hand on your backside. But we're turning and we're twisting. Your thumbs are trying to sit to the center of your breastbone. Keep the neck long, and inhale, up we come, reach up. Straightening nice and tall, exhaling, and across we go, other side. So we twist here as well. Shoulders are broad. Take that nice twist to your left, right arm across. Knees remain together. Another deep breath. And we're going to come back out. So from here, fingertips to the shins or maybe to the floor. I'll stay with the shins. Inhale, stretch out with those legs, looking upwards, looking upwards. Exhale, folding, bending those knees enough to place your hands to the floor and step back, back, back to a downward dog or straight back to your child pose. So for some, we're staying, we're holding our dog pose. Others, we're resting back into a child pose. You might feel like just moving, paddling those feet a little, feeling the lovely stretch through the backs of your legs, the calves. Spread those fingertips into your mat, trying to find length through the side body. If you're in child pose, still finding that length through the side body. Find your breath. Feel that it's soft, it's relaxed, it's not tensed at all. So from here, we're dropping back to our knees. You can come back and rest into your child pose. You can bring your arms in or by your sides. If you prefer, you can stay with your downward dog. Otherwise, 2 more gentle, soft breaths there. And inhale, so rounding through that back. Now we're going to come through into a couple of really lovely deep hip openers here, or hip releases. So you're going to take your right foot out to the side of that right hand. Now remembering, we are warm, our muscles are quite warmed up. So we're just going to slowly start to move into the inner thighs. Don't go too far. Stay on the hands or grab a little bit more height. If you need that height, grab it. Just let gravity do its work here. So you're folding down. Some of you might sort of get right the way down. So whether you're on your hands or a book or the floor, we're going to wander out to the side. So you're opening this up. If you'd like to, you can sort of lift the sole of the foot a little and draw that knee away. So again, quite an intense release. Some of you are down on your forearms. Others, you're up on your hands or even up on that block. Just easing through the inner thigh. So I know with the yin, usually 10, 20 breaths. We are not staying so long in these yin poses. I've only got 30 minutes on my phone, little camera. So I'm trying to condense the classes a little. So we're coming back up. If I'd known, I would have got a better camera. Turn your foot out. Take that hand. I didn't know I was going to be doing this. So easing around. You just never know what's coming next, do you really? Easing around. Some of you are going down onto your forearm. Just turning, twisting that bit more. Opening up this hip. You can feel that moving into your backside. Further still, your arm can extend or you're reaching around to hold onto your back foot, which is quite an intense version. So if that feels too much, don't go that far. Breathe. Stay. And then as you release, we're coming back out. And you can either release and soften and take that little release into your child's pose. You might stay in your child's pose. If you want to move a little bit more, inhale, curl, little mini baby vinyasa, coming down into the arms, now crashing into a chair. Inhale, little baby cobra. Exhaling, releasing and pushing through the hands back through to either child pose. If you prefer your downward dog, you can come back through to your dog pose. So we're going to come up and we're going to do the other side. So bringing yourselves round your left foot round to the edge. You stay on your hands, stay with height. If you need a little bit of extra height, stay with that extra height here. And that might be where you stay. Others, you're moving further down, so it might be here. Might be that those forearms will be right down on the floor. You can take a slightly different angle by letting that foot roll away and the knee moving out to the side. So you're in this lovely dragon pose. From here, if you want to, you're walking out to the side, so it's quite an open twist, and it's quite an intense release. So just again, be gentle, don't go too far. Just feeling that releasing through the inner thigh, into the groin, into these hips. When we come back up out of the side, we shall lift and bring that foot. We're going to turn the foot out, take the hand, push the leg a bit further away, easing into that hip. Use your exhale to push it away, so you're not forcing. You can stay on your hand. Some of you will be down on that forearm, and then from here we'll bend that back knee in, and that might be where you stay, or this top arm can reach, take a hold and turn and twisting back towards the ceiling. So as you can see, you can keep the postures quite gentle, or you can move quite deeply into some of the releases. Again, we're not staying for a long time, so it's a wee bit easier. Releasing out of that side. Gives you a nice taste of yin though. Releasing back into your child pose, possibly into your downward dog. For those who want to stay, otherwise curl. Tummy buttons pulled in, down through your arms. Take a little baby cobra, inhale, little lift, opening up the chest. Exhaling back to your floor, push back into your arms and settling back into your child's pose, just extending, breathing, softening through the neck, softening, relaxing those shoulders. And then from here we're going to inhale up. So we shall sit for a moment here. You're going to take yourselves with your legs outstretched. So extend both legs forward. Take a nice breath, and we shall exhale, extending forward over your legs. So feel the length of your back, extending through the backs of these legs. As you breathe in, it's a little bit like the sea, you back away. As you exhale, you'll find you will move that little bit deeper. One more deep breath, inhale back off it. Exhaling, forward and down. Now from here, we're going to inhale up. You're going to curl back, so rounding into your back. Scoop up that tummy, chin stays tucked in. You can stay and hold. As you inhale, back up we come. We're going to bring our left leg in. So in goes your left leg. Exhale, extending forward again, rounding, resting. Neck soft again, shoulders are soft. As you breathe out, you'll relax into the shape. As you breathe in, it's a chance to take a little bit of a holiday from it, and then as you exhale, you'll fall into it. Fall into it. Inhale up. And we're going to take that right leg out to the side. Now here, again, we're back into the inside of these legs. You're going to take this arm onto your shin, or maybe to the big toe. This top hand can stay on your hip. If you feel you can go further, you can just rest your head on your hand. If you want to go further, this arm can reach up and across and take that lovely full stretch through the side waist. You can feel just where those little attachments sit to the top of the hip, the iliac crest. You can feel the release coming through the side body, which is also lovely for your back. We're going to inhale, up we come. So from here, extending those legs back out, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, we're going to curl back for a moment, easing back. Some of us are staying. If you feel like going further, you're going to round all the way to the floor, bend those knees in and straighten them up into the ceiling. Pressing the back down, buttocks lifting slightly. Bend those knees, reach behind the legs, curl back up. This time our right leg stays, our left leg comes in. And exhaling, falling forward, rounding into the back, softening into the breath. Wrong leg. Easing down. Shoulders really relaxed. It's been a long 2 weeks really. My lefts and my rights are not working, especially when I'm turning from side to side and to the front. That's my excuse anyway. We're coming all the way back up and we're going to bring that leg out to the side. So again, you can rest your head. You can hold onto the big toe. This top arm can stay resting on your hip. Front of the body pulled back in, and if you're going further, your arm extending to the side. And you breathe. As you breathe out, possibly just a little bit further. Keeping the front of the body quite lovely and pulled inwards. We're coming all the way back up and through there, and taking those legs to your butterfly pose, resting forward. Some of you are going to take 2 legs out to the sides instead, so maybe butterfly pose, or maybe this lovely dragonfly pose. You can grab a hold of the big toes, you can take your little blocks and just take a wee fold forward. Others, you're going to relax all the way down, resting now. Because it's a yin class, we're just letting those feet fall. They're not trying to stay pulled up and firm. Maybe a little bend in the knees to relax the muscle. So you're not holding the poses with your muscles. You're letting the muscle relax, soften, and then the release will come into your joints a little bit more. Your shoulders are relaxed, and you're finding that breath. And when you stay in a pose, you might find you'll go a little further, so that the shape that you started in won't quite be the shape that you finish in. You might just find you will go deeper, even taking a hold of those toes if you want to. But again, if you find the muscles beginning to tense, breathe out, relax them, and maybe it's a case of just backing away from the stretch that little bit. We're coming all the way back up, just drawing those legs back in. Take the legs out to the front, reaching to exhale. We're folding over those legs just one more time, lengthening the backs, and then on the breath in, we're coming back up. I'm going sideways again. We're curling back, so rounding, scooping, tummy in, chin tucked in, all the way through, all the way down. Bend those knees in, and this time we plant the feet down onto your floor. And you can take 2 books or blocks, or maybe just the one, and you're going to place it. I'm going to place the block on its higher side. Don't know where my other block's gone. Otherwise, 2 books or 2 blocks. Chest open, tummy is quite relaxed here, and from here you can stay, shoulders soft and relaxed, or if you feel like it, you're just going to extend right leg in, extend it to the ceiling, flexing that foot. If you feel like taking a hold, you can draw it close, just a little way. Breathe. We're not pushing the foot into the floor. We're relaxing, lengthening. Leg comes back in. Other side, bend it in. Extend it away. And again, you can stay, or you can bring that leg a little bit closer. Flexed is going to give you a different stretch. Pointed, you won't feel it quite so much into the calf. So you can choose. You can hold the calf if you want to, or the back of the leg. Gently release, coming back down there. Shoulders broad, resting onto that mat, tummy very soft, buttocks relaxed. We're going to bend those knees in and take both legs to the ceiling, so stretching long. Try not to arch, try and let that back settle. You can have knees bent if it's easier for you. So relaxing the back, relaxing your tummy, relaxing the face. might be bent legs, might be straight legs, Viparita Karani. So a nice deep breath in, a nice soft exhale. Feel the tummy softening into your back. Bend the knees if it's difficult. So leave those legs straight. And as you come back out, we're going to bend those legs. And place your feet down. You can take your block out. I just want to take a twist here. So we're going to bring both knees into your chest. Take a little hug. And both knees are going to the right. So arms go out, legs move across and down. And that might be where you'd like to stay. If you would like to go further, you're going to extend the top leg and possibly place the foot onto your hand. As you breathe out, relax into that a bit more. If anyone feels like taking cat pulling tail, you can bring that back leg in and behind you and grab a hold of that foot and just open it up that wee bit further. Shoulders on the floor. Tummy's relaxed. Don't forget, if it's too much, stay when they're resting. Nice gentle breath. And you do release, letting go. Inhaling, pull the tummy in a little to bring the legs back up. And we'll do the other side. So let's move over here this way. We're going to bring both legs to your left this time, shoulders stay. Nice breath. We're going to extend the top leg. If you take that further, it's the top leg stretching straight. If you don't want to go further, stay with two bent legs. If you do feel like taking cat pulling tail, bring that hand back round. Grab a hold of those toes. Kick the foot into the hand and hold. It's arching that back towards the floor so you're not rounding, you're drawing the shoulders back and down. Again, breathe. Make sure your face is soft, the jaw is relaxed. Nice fullness of breath here. It's a really quiet afternoon. Must have been the sprinkling of rain. Everyone's inside. So releasing foot. Bring that leg in. Hug your knees. And now if you do happen to have a couple of blocks, you can or books, you can take them and you can place them together. And you can lie, making sure your head sits on the first block and your upper back is on the second block. You can leave your legs bent or you can place them in Supta Baddha Konasana. The shoulders are falling either side of the block. The chin is slightly tucked in. The neck is really relaxed. Your jaw is soft. Your face, the muscles of the face. A little spot between your eyebrows. Now, if you're not terribly comfortable with sitting on those blocks or lying on the blocks, do move those box or blocks out of your way and lie flat. Otherwise, just resting. And again, letting the shoulders fall. And the jaw, the face, the tummies, the backs, the buttocks, the legs. Feel really relaxed. You can maybe just take that fullness of your breath here. So you'll find that there's a little bit more movement through the ribs as they open. And then they soften as you exhale. So again, just stay, relax there, rest. Nice practice to do late afternoon, early evening. Relaxing, centering, and reflective. again. Do stay a moment, don't rush off. Stay there. I'm going to go, but you can stay. So exhaling, releasing. And thank you so much for having me in your back bedroom, your living room. I'll see you soon.